What is going on, everybody? We are back with another review, and in this review, we are checking out Season 1, Episode 20 of the Twilight Zone. It is called Elegy. Please note that if you check the link in the description below, if you're on YouTube watching this video, it'll send you over to the Patreon. The Patreon, if you sign up, you get everything a full week early. With that being said, all right. So this story is called Elegy, and to give you a rundown as far as the best that I can explain it, because it isn't exactly easy to understand. Some gentlemen land on an asteroid. It is the year 2100 and something or another. And these guys land on an asteroid, and when they land on the asteroid, they are unable to find anyone that's not moving. Find anyone that's moving. So they find like a guy who's fishing, and he's just stuck fishing. They find they find a whole room full of people where a guy's, becoming the mayor, and everyone's frozen in time. It almost seems like everyone is like a statue. They're definitely real people. That's as far as, you could definitely see people swaying from trying to sit still. But everyone's just frozen in place. They eventually split up and search different areas themselves and pretty much just find more of the same. Eventually, they run across one guy who is moving, and he brings them into this area, and he tells them that they are in a graveyard or in a cemetery, or funeral home, so to speak, where everybody that's there is living out a fantasy for the rest of their life, but frozen in time, basically. And the one thing that that he's able to promise anybody that comes through here is everlasting peace. And he makes everybody a drink, and they're all sitting there drinking it, and basically, by the end of the conversation, one of the guys is like, well, we're stuck here. We have to live here for the rest of our lives. And the guy is like, I understand that. And then all of a sudden, one of them starts to like he's dying, basically. And they're like, "You poisoned us. Like, what did you do this for? We weren't meaning you any harm." And he's like, "Correct. And this is a place for everlasting peace, and there can be no peace as long as man exists." And basically, I mean, he does explain that he's a robot, basically, or a being of another kind that doesn't. Right, he only wakes up when needed. And at that point, they all die. He does say that it's going to be painless. But once they do die, they are basically set up back in their spaceship, because they did say that they wished they were on their spaceship returning home. So he does set them up on their spaceship where they're frozen in time, like they're flying for the rest of time. And that's the end of the episode. This is one of the, honestly, first episodes. So Charles is another one I seemingly, apparently, just struggle with. So Charles, I didn't do this earlier. This is Elegy. This is directed by Douglas Hayes, written by Charles Belmont. Music is done by Van Cleve. It was released February 19th, 1960. Now, Charles Belmont, the last time we did a story from him was Perchance to Dream, and I didn't really like Perchance to Dream all that much either. The ones I apparently seem to really love are ones that are written by others, but Rod Serling does the teleplay for him. And then, like, Richard Matheson did The Last Flight a couple episodes ago that was pretty good. Now, again, this isn't a bad episode. This is probably more lower to middle of the pack for me. It's definitely better than last the last episode that we covered, which was the Purple Testament. Because again, I didn't really enjoy the Purple Testament all that much. And I think the struggle here is that there's just not enough explained for it to at least make sense. At least when things are just out of the ordinary, they're explained in a way that still makes sense even while being out of the ordinary. But like for this asteroid where it's supposed to be, people come to live eternal life, whatever, then they're there, and he let me see if I can finish the thought. It's never explained how the people actually get there. It's hinted at. He says, I thought you were with so-and-so mortuary, whatever he calls it. And the only thing I think of is they send people to this cemetery to be frozen in time or whatever. The problem is at that time, there would have been no way for people to get on the asteroid in the real... And I'm thinking, I guess, in the real world as opposed to the Twilight Zone, right? Because apparently asteroids allow people to live, like, with air free or with air. I don't know. It's really weird. But it just feels like a lot of this episode didn't make sense. I do tend to enjoy episodes like these. At least I have up to this point, because when people like go to a place where there's like nobody there, they can't find anyone, those always end up being really entertaining. Whereas this one, they found a bunch of people. It's just none of them were really like moving. They were all dead, and that's because they've all been probably poisoned and then set up as decoration, is what I'm going to call it. But yeah, so that's that. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they're trying to explain it where this mortuary place sends these people here, because people probably, from the way if I'm taking context clues into consideration, it seems like people go to this place because they want to live a happy eternal life moving forward. They probably pay a nice sum of money. This place flies them out to this asteroid. They land on this asteroid. This guy wakes up from his robotic nap, talks to them, feeds them this drink that's supposed to kill them once they die. He sets them up in a way that they want to be, right? And that's why he asks everybody what it is that their favorite thing that they want to do, and then that way, once they do die, he can set them up in a manner that they'll be in that position for eternity. So, again, middle of the pack to lower end for me. Whereas usually when it's written, it's a story written by somebody that's not Rod, it tends to be higher on my list. It is definitely almost time for bed. Alright guys, that is going to do it. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you all for traveling down this road. Like I said, this was episode 20, which means we have 16 more episodes to go. Super excited. With that being said, love you guys. We'll see you next time. Peace.